Greetings, my name is Yirser, Hotep of Yoga Skills, and I'm embarking on a sort of a new direction a little bit. Giving you a demonstration of, I was so inspired when I bought this new juicer that I wanted to give you a demonstration of how it works. And because a lot of people come to me and ask me questions about what juicer to buy, what blender to buy, so on and so forth. And the previous blender that I owned is called the Champion, and it's a really good sturdy juicer. If you have one, it will last you for the rest of your life. But it works on a different principle. It works on a principle where you are where the mechanism here grinds the sort of breaks down the fruits and vegetables with these teeth on the blade of the blender, and you have all these different attachments that sort of go like this, and the juice comes out from the bottom, the pulp comes out this way. One of the things I don't like about this juicer though is that it heats up, it turns at a very rapid speed. This turns extremely fast, and it heats up your juice, so your juice gets hot. And when it gets hot, you break down some of the nutrients, and it also, because of the speed, it also oxidizes your juice, and it causes it to get frothy. And so the juice consequently has a little bit less nutrients than what it should have. Now this new juicer that I purchased, which is by a company called Omega, is one that uses a principle called mastication. So it has like a slow moving blade that turns at a relatively slow rate of speed, and it's not really a blade, it's not a metal blade, it's just plastic, and it just breaks down the fruits and vegetables and squeezes the juice out. So consequently, your juice does not get hot. And the juice comes out through this nozzle here, and your pulp comes out here. And so this is my very first time using this, and so I hope everything goes okay. And I'm going to place the containers here that comes with it. This container captures the juice, and this container captures the pulp that comes out from the juicer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a blend of juices that I've been pretty much using for about 40 years. 40 years ago, I decided I was going to become a vegetarian. I was going to stop eating meat, stop using processed foods, stop eating white processed sugars and sodas and artificial flavors and so on and so forth. So essentially I became a fruitarian because I really didn't know how to prepare food. But over the years, after being introduced to yoga and meeting other people who were into natural foods, I was able to gain some knowledge. And so 40 years ago, when I started on my path, they didn't have, tools like this which you could use. So I'm going to make a combination of juices that I've been making for a long time, and because of my travel schedule, because as you know, I travel and I train people to become instructors in kinetic yoga. I'm on the road a lot, and I can't really juice and make my smoothies in the way and to the degree that I want to. So I decided that I was going to get back on, dedicated to making my juices as much as I can, at least while I'm at home. And so this combination that I'm making is taking a variety of different vegetables which are very high and dense in nutrients. One of the main ingredients, of course, is going to be carrots. Carrots containing a lot of a nutrient called beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is vitamin A. So I have one of my best friends who I've been trying to get to change his diet for years and years. He finally started to make carrot juice, and he had eye problems. He had cataracts and different problems with his eyes, and he said his eyes immediately almost started to improve after he started using carrots on a regular basis. And so that sort of indicates that he had a deficiency in beta carotene. There was a time when I drank so much carrot juice, I would make a gallon of carrot and mixed vegetable juice every day and drink it when I was in college. I would drink almost a gallon of it every day. And my skin even started to get an orange pall to it because of the fact that I had so much of this beta carotene, because you know carrots have this orange color. Another main ingredient is this very powerful plant called kale greens. And kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet Earth. In fact, most of your green leafy vegetables, which this should be the staple of your diet, not meat, not beans, not rice, but green leafy vegetables. This should be your staple in your meals. And these are some of the most nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense vegetables or plants on the planet Earth. They have a tremendous amount of vitamin A, they have some B vitamins, they have all the amino acids, they have vitamins, they contain a copious amount of vitamin C, and the chlorophyll. This is what builds your blood. This is what runs parasites out of your body. This is what gives you life. You know, this essentially is something which is going to build your blood, these green leafy vegetables. And then we have some dandelion greens, and you can see there's different varieties of dandelion. You can see that this particular dandelion green has a red vein running through it. So it has like this redness, and I like to have vegetables that have a lot of different colors. So I'm using the orange, the green, the red, and so on and so forth, because this again is a blood builder, it's a blood purifier. It can help to detoxify your intestines and your colon, your stomach, and your blood. And it also builds up the strength of your blood. Then we have celery. Celery has a lot of dense nutrients. Celery also has a calming effect on your central nervous system. So it sort of have this effect where it helps you to relax, help you to calm down, and help you to focus your mind, okay? Then we have parsley. So you can see this is a very good, nice, fresh bunch of parsley. And this parsley is a very intense blood purifier and blood builder. We also have these little things here. This is a little small piece of ginger root. And ginger is also a blood purifier. It also helps to get mucus out of your system. So if you have mucus, congestion, like I was in France recently and it was cold there and people there don't really have, at least where I was staying, they didn't really have a lot of good heat. So I kind of caught a little bit of a cold. And so I'm using ginger now to help to break up some of the congestion, residual congestion that I have. Then we have this little thing here. These are roots. Ginger is a root, and turmeric is also a root. And this is something that's people have become aware of in recent years as anti-inflammatory. So ginger is also anti-inflammatory, and turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. And so both of these are good for your for your joints, for taking inflammation out of your muscles. It counteracts the effect of exercise. So when I go to the gym, or when I ride my bike, or when I do a lot of intense exercise, I like to use something with turmeric in it in order to help my body to recover. And this is one of the best things you can take. All of these have antioxidants. Antioxidants are substances in foods that allow your body's immune system to become stronger and to fight off disease. Then we have some apples. These are sort of some old beat up apples that I've had for a little while. I'm trying to get rid of them. But the great thing about fruits and vegetables is that even if they're a little bit old, they're not going to die it's not the same as eating meat. When you leave meat in the refrigerator and it sits there for a while, well, it's actually as soon as the animal dies, it goes through a decay process called putrefaction. And putrefaction is a process that creates carcinogens, and carcinogens are the substances that causes your cells to mutate in your body and turn into tumors. So cancer, I read this research back in the 70s, but now they just came out with some more research saying that meat causes cancer. The consumption of meat products, animal products causes cancer. This is something that people have been knowing for many, many years, but for some reason they've come out with it again. So even if a vegetable is old, you can take it and juice it a little, get the residual nutrients that's left in it so that you don't have to let it go to waste. A lot of times we let a lot of our stuff go to waste. So when I have some leftover vegetables in my refrigerator, leftover fruits, I'll either put them through the juicer or throw them in the blender, blend them up, and use them that way. And the other thing we're gonna use beet. As you see, beet is red, it's blood red, so it's a good blood purifier, it's a good blood builder. It has lots of iron, so a lot of times ladies, they have a deficiency in iron, and so also having beet on a regular basis, having these green leafy vegetables on a regular basis are going to give you your iron and also calcium. There's a lot of calcium involved here. And this is your pineapple. This is an organic pineapple. And so this is the top of it, which I removed the top earlier. And by being organic, you can either, you really don't even have to take the skin off. If it was conventionally grown, you might want to remove the skin because of when they spray it, they put a lot of chemicals on it, you know, like insecticides and artificial fertilizers and things like that. But if it's been grown organically, you don't have that problem. And so you can keep the skin on when you juice it, and you will get a lot of the nutrients that's contained around the skin. And so I'm going to turn my new juicer on for the first time, and if you look closely, you're going to see that it has, this is where the work of the blender is done at. And this is going, you can see that it's not a real loud blender or juicer. If I had my other juicer on the Champion, it would be very loud. But this one has a sort of moderate volume to it. This is the plunger that you can use to push down the food if you need to. And so we're going to start off, the top of this is kind of small, so you might want to cut your vegetables or your fruits first in order to allow it to fit into the opening at the top. So this is the first time I'm ever using this machine. And as you can see the juice started to come out from the carrot, and the pulp is coming out here. Juice here, pulp here. So it's working just the way I started working on in the videos on YouTube. You don't really have to even push it down. It just takes the time and it masticates the vegetable. This is a root vegetable, so it's very hard, and it works, you know, pretty good, you know, on this root vegetable, breaking it down, separating the body of the vegetable from the juice. So the way that I was advised in terms of when I did my research to buy this was that you should probably, instead of putting all of one thing in at one time, you should divide it up. So I'm going to put a little bit of carrot, then I'm going to put a little green leafy vegetable in. I'm going to put my a little bit of my dandelion greens through there. And again, you know, this is not being cooked. All you're doing is using something that is fresh And so you're getting a lot of the nutrients from it. So eventually you're going to start to see the green juice from this come out through the through here. Because you're using leafy plants, you may not see the juice come out right away, but it is going to come out. So now you see a little bit of the green juice coming out. So I'll add a little bit of my parsley. See, so it takes its time. So it's not moving at a very high rate of speed. And again, when your juice is moving very fast and it's creating a lot of friction, a lot of heat, it's breaking down your the nutrients in your food. That's why I was interested in getting this type of juicer. So now I'm going to put a little bit of my parsley in there. I'm going to add a little celery. And again, you don't even have to do anything. You can see how the juicer itself is sort of eating the stalk of celery on its own. And so you can see the green juice starting to flow through here copiously. So now I'm going to add a little bit more carrot to the mixture. And when you're working in your kitchen, you really want to have the good tools. I got a nice sharp knife here. Again, I put the carrot in there, and you can see that the carrot is on its own. It's going through, being devoured by this machine. So this is a very strong machine. Very strong engine, very strong electric motor. It's very sturdy, it's very heavy. Well, not very heavy, but it has a good amount of heft to it. So now we put another carrot. We're going to add some kale for the first time. And again, if I was putting this through my champion juice over here, this kale would be, the fibers from the kale would be getting wrapped around the blade. So a lot of times, this blade gets celery, like the fibers from the celery or the fibers from this kale leaf, it gets wrapped around the blades and clog up the blades. And even though the juice is coming out and the pulp is coming out at the same time, you have to stop and clean all of that out. Back in the day, we were told that you shouldn't mix fruits and vegetables together. But nowadays, it's been shown that there are certain fruits that you can mix with your vegetables in terms of making juice. And so apple is a very stable type of fruit, which you can mix with your mixed vegetable juice, and it helps to cut the flavor. It helps to enhance the flavor. And you can see the apple is really coming out right away because apple is a little bit softer. And so this machine works pretty well on the apple. And this pulp that's coming out is relatively dry. And so you're not getting a lot of juice really being left in it. And it's still cool to the touch. So that means that my juicer is not causing my juice to overheat. So I'm gonna put in another piece of apple. And again, this is very low work. I can put in the seeds and everything. So the seeds are being processed and masticated, as well as the fruit and the skin of the fruit. Then I'm going to add a little bit of my turmeric. And again, turmeric is one of the great superfoods, anti-inflammatory foods. Helps to enhance your immune system. And you just put that in there, and it's going to work. And I'm going to follow my turmeric with some nice, fresh ginger. So this combination of fruits, vegetables, I can smell the aroma of the blend of the ginger coming out right away. So it's telling me that the ginger is being well broken down and absorbed into my juice. I'm going to put a little bit of pineapple in there. Pineapple has a lot of vitamin C and many other nutrients that you probably don't even know about. When you cut your pineapple, you want to cut it through the center. Because if you notice, like in the center, you have this kind of hard, pulpy, this kind of hard heart to it right here. And so you cut it this way. And you can take each one of these slices, and because sometimes your juicer doesn't like to have like stuff that's too soft. It could become clogged up because your fruit or your vegetable is too soft. So you sort of cut your pineapple like that so that you can put some of the soft part of the pineapple through, and you can also follow that up with putting some part of the hard part of your pineapple through, and that helps to keep a balance between hard and soft aspects of your vegetables when you're putting it through your blender, through your juicer rather. I always get blender and juicer confused. So, as you can see, with just that amount that we've been using, the bowl is getting pretty full. I got to make sure I have enough room to put my beet through there. And again, this beet is a hard root vegetable. So we're putting beet through there. And you can see how this really working on the beet right away. You can see the red juice of the beet is coming through. And without even having to use all of my vegetables and my fruit, I have made 32 ounces of juice, and it's still coming out. And you can see this machine is humming. It's not loud. It's doing its thing. It's working very efficiently. And again, this is the first time that I've ever used this machine before. This is called a Omega VRT 350. They have other models. They have some models which are more expensive, but you know, I think this one is going to work fine for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to stir this juice up. So I'm going to cut that off for a minute. Now, with any juice that you make, it may become, it may have a certain amount of pulp in it. Some people who are used to drinking juices, they come out of the store, out of bottles, they don't really like the pulp taste or the little fibrous pieces that's inside of the juice. But for me, it doesn't bother me. So I'm not going to strain my juice. If you don't like it, you can strain it. You can get you a nice strainer and you can strain your juice. Again, just a basic strainer like this will strain all the little fibers out of your juice. But I'm just going to mix that together. And as you can see, there's very little foam or froth at the top of the juice. If this had been made with my other juicer, about this much of it would have been froth at the top, and it would have been overflowing with the froth, which that means that the juice was being oxidized and heated by the action of being blended in the blender. So I'm going to get a glass, excuse me while I get a glass, and I'm going to pour some juice into my glass. And I've never used this picture before, so I'm not sure how it's supposed to work. There it goes. And this is a tremendous juice that you can use So now it's this is November 1st in Chicago where I live, and so you know, the cold season is beginning. So you want to prevent yourself from having a cold. If you want to improve your digestive system, if you want to give yourself a lot of the nutrients that you need, then you want to use this juice with the ginger and the turmeric in it, with the pineapple, all your vitamin C. This is a very tremendous antioxidant drink. Not only does it look good, it also tastes good. A lot of times people are, when they see something that looks greenish or looks this type of color, because we have because our minds have been sort of captured by corporate America and the way that they market things to us, we don't like the color green. So when we see a juice or some food which is green, we automatically say, oh, that looks nasty. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't look right. But in reality, this is what your body is made out of. This is what you need to add into your body. You are what you eat. And the best way to get your nutrients, or one of the best way to get your nutrients, is to get a very condensed form of fruits and vegetables and get them fresh. And I recommend that you drink your juice as soon as you can after you have made it, so that the longer it sits, the more that the nutrients are going to break down. But I'm told that with this particular juicer, because it doesn't heat up your juice, and because of the way that it extracts the juice from the fruits and vegetables, that your fruits and that you can actually store this juice in a closed jar in the refrigerator for maybe 2 days without too much nutrient loss. So again, this is your vitamin A, your vitamin C, many of your B vitamins, your amino acids, your enzymes for your digestive system, so on and so forth. So what can I say other than bon appetit, Hotep, peace and love.